Hi everybody, Adam Pecoraro from Flexoraro Fitness. Thank you so much for clicking on our video. Today we're going to be watching my wife, Rebecca, and our friend Bob do their workout. Now this right here is a nice total body strength workout. It's done with a high intensity interval methodology. It's just not the typical high intensity interval movements, meaning we're going to be doing stuff that's a little bit more complex, putting movements together. This one right here is a racked squat into a suitcase curtsy squat. Now the racked squat, they're just adding weight to their standard squat. The whole posterior chain is working, which means their back, glutes, hamstrings, calves are the emphasis. Quads are still getting action, absolutely. And they've got a little bit more for their arms to do. When they go into the curtsy, it's the same areas, but a different plane, a different dynamic. And I think when it comes to mobility, you want to be able to move forward, back, left, right, circular, crossover in any which way you possibly can so that you can be confident. And there's my son, Dog. He's also a coach. And now good old standard push-ups. Now, I'm under no illusion that push-ups are easy. Most folks dread them. But it is an exercise that's good for your body because it works just about everything. Plus, it's just body weight. And there's a million variations, so there's ways to change it up, and there's a lot of ways to progress into it. The best way is starting with a plank. Push-ups from your knees are good. I think if you incline on a bench or on a chair, that would be better. Don't use the back of the chair, use the seat. And make sure it's not going to slide on the floor. When you go into your push-up motion, 90 degrees would be great. That's what I tell Becca to do. Bob gets a little bit more range of motion usually. I think a lot of times when you do push-ups, people have this opinion that you have to go all the way to the ground. Well, let me explain. More range of motion usually means more intensity. But you have to make sure that your shoulders are up to the task, because once you break 90 degrees, the chest stops being the emphasis and the shoulders take over. And sometimes people blow out their shoulders. Bob over here has had 2 rotator cuff surgeries. One of them happened when we were doing an old workout challenge called Blackjack that had about 250 push-ups in it. He's all better now and healed up and doing his push-ups great. But it is something to bear in mind. You don't want your ego to do something that could hurt your body when it's completely avoidable. Now we have the reverse lunge to lateral shoulder fly. So again, couplings. We could do just a reverse lunge and just a lateral shoulder fly, but we're going to put them together. Now, as they step back and they work their quadriceps, they're also working their stability because they're going to hold the lunge and then they're going to do the fly. That means that it's very hard to use your legs to help bump the fly up. So you really have to use the muscles that you're supposed to use, which is the lateral head of the shoulder. Now, remember a moment ago, I was talking about Bob. He had 2 rotator cuff tears, 2 rotator cuff surgeries. He has limited range of motion despite all our best efforts to rehab his shoulders. So the plane isn't perfectly palms to the ground, but he's finding a way instead of a way out. Beck over here has got her palms down, nice little bend to the elbows. And again, they go for maximum reps, taking breaks when they need to. Mid-set rep breaks are cool, but they got 1 minute to do as much as they can, 30-second rest interval, and then we move on to the next exercise. That exercise you just saw Beck do was called Disrespectful Wife. Now we have a good old classic thruster. So they're gonna squat with the weights top loaded, much like they did in exercise number 1. And on the way up, they're gonna push the weights into a press. So you use the energy from your squat to drive the weights up. It's not as helpful as you might think because the fatigue starts to really become compounded at this point. They've already done a lot of legs. Now, in addition to doing maximum reps for 60 seconds, they do 3 sets of everything you see here. It takes about a half hour to get it done, and then they go and they do a walk run of a mile down the road. They're warriors, and it's tough, and it's winter, so it's cold, and they worked all day, but they out here doing their best, and I'm always proud of them. And then the last part of their circuit is biceps 21. And if you've been watching our videos, you've seen us do this a bunch of times. What they're gonna do is 7 curls that go halfway up. Now, after they hit 7 that come halfway up, they bump them up towards the shoulders and they do 7 that stop halfway down. So that gives you 14, but it's biceps 21, right? So after those 7, they stretch it and do full curls for another 7 reps. 7 times 3 is 21. That's biceps 21. You do that over 3 sets, you get biceps 63. That's some good overload. And that's it. Thank you everybody so much for watching. We really appreciate your viewership. You want to help me out? Hit that thumbs up. It really helps the channel when you like the video. And leave a comment. I'd love to interact with you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in the next video.